welcome to Reelin Films. I do hope that you enjoy this video. Don't forget, if you have not yet subscribed to our channel, hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that bell. Like that you guys can get notified for anything and everything movie and series related here at Reel in Films. I hope you enjoy this video. Hey, good afternoon, Sharon. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. So today we're going to be talking about a film that you have directed, that it's Float. I gotta say that it's a phenomenal film. It touches bases in many things, and I myself, as part of the audience, have a certain connection with some of the characters. So I know that people will talk about that aspect and the whole film as well because it's just a beautiful film. So
Wow.
so Sharon, I wanted to know what inspired you to bring this film to the audience.
Well, thank you so much. I'm so glad you enjoyed yourself and saw yourself in the film. That's the best thing that any filmmaker can ask for, really. Yeah, I came to the project because Jeff Chan, who's a producer at Collective Pictures, had optioned a book from Wattpad, and a book by Kate Marchant. And they were looking for this film to be starring Robbie Amell, and they were looking for a director. So when I read the book, it was really uncanny how much I could relate to it. A girl learning how to swim, a story about belonging. And, I went traveling in my early 20s. I learned to swim as an adult. And, this idea of belonging is something that I've always sort of struggled with in my whole life. And it was a really special opportunity for me to bring my own story to um, an assisting book. So yeah, that's how I came to it.
So so you going inside that inspiration, so you did put like a personal touch to the film as well.
That's right. Yeah. So the book is actually about a 17-year-old girl from Alaska, and she goes to Florida because her parents have just been recently divorced. And she goes to Florida to spend the summer with her aunt. So the film is about everybody in the film is 10 years older than the girl from the book. And it was partly because of, Kate's fan base had grown with her, and we wanted to sort of have this story kind of age with them. But also for me, I went traveling in my early 20s. In the film, Waverly is Taiwanese, and which is where I'm from. And yeah, bringing kind of her cultural background into the film, and that informs, her character. And a lot of it is, yeah, based on my own personal experiences.
Okay, so that's one of the things that I did notice on the film. The film touches bases a lot in that cultural aspect of the main character, and being the fact that you mentioned that it's your experiences, your experience as well. Do you think that uh other, I would say, teenagers or adults that have passed through what I would say yourself and the main character had went through, that you guys had to have a certain approval from the parents due to the cultural background? Do you think that a lot of people from that cultural background will connect with your character?
Absolutely, I think so. I mean, I think I was an immigrant. I was born in Taiwan and came to Canada. I'm Canadian as well, and I came to Canada when I was 6. And, from audience reactions, I know even, people from all kinds of backgrounds, people from anywhere in the world that is an immigrant has that same experience of, having parents who have worked really hard for their children and wanting their children to be, set for life. And therefore they're looking for them to have a stable job and all of that. And it comes from a really good place. But of course, as the next generation, we have different hopes and dreams than what our parents worked so hard to set up for us. So I think that disconnect and that pressure or the desire to please our parents is present with a lot of cultures. Yeah.
Yeah, I completely. That's one of the aspects of the
Yeah.
film that got connected with me. so
Yeah. That's so
so
good.
so Shireen, I wanted to know, were there any challenges while filming? The reason why I ask is because there's a scene that is when our main character gets her first lesson, and I did notice that there's a portion of the camera shot that the pool is raining, but they are like dry. So I wanted to know if it wasn't that something out of the blue happened while on that scene, or did you have any other challenges besides weather?
Well, weather was definitely a challenge. We shot in the beautiful British Columbia, but we did shoot in sort of the end of summer. So we did have, we were kind of racing against the weather because it was getting colder and colder every day. And rain, I think there's this one scene where Waverly sees her aunt painting the mural and she's like, "Oh no, it just started raining." That actually happened on the day. Like it was not meant to be a rainy day that for that scene. Um, so yeah, good eye. There's definitely a little bit of rain during the pool scene, and we didn't do anything like special effects or anything. So they seemed dry because it wasn't really raining really hard, but of course in the water you can tell. Yeah.
And how was it working with the cast? I do see that you got to work with Robbie Amell, an actor that's been basically in everything. And I did see some other familiar faces like Michelle Kursiek. How was it working with all of them, especially with our lead Andrea Bang?
Yeah. It was amazing. I mean, I was brought on to the project before, like when Robbie was already attached. So Robbie is one of the producers on this film. So this film was going to be made for him. And yeah, he's such a professional. He's been in so many things, and we truly had one of the nicest work environments. um it was really important to me to have that, especially we're making this beautiful love story and we want everybody to feel good. And but yeah, and Michelle, we found her um after looking around for a long time, and I'm so glad she was up for doing the project, especially because she's also Taiwanese. So it was really nice to connect with her on that level. And then Andrea, it was so great to have her. I had worked with her on Kim's Convenience, um, but we actually didn't think she would be available because there were some scheduling issues, but we ended up making it work. And I just think she's such a star, and I hope that people will see her in this film and just see how talented she is. And she really has so much range. She can do comedy. She is obviously can do drama, as you have seen on this film. And she's just so beautiful and such a kind and sweet person.
Is there any moment while you were filming that you keep as a memory, like a funny moment or something that happened
Mhm.
uh, while on set?
Wow, so many. Well, I think maybe worth mentioning is the scene where they're at the top of the mountain where they're watching the sunrise. That was such a special thing because we had to walk through a suspension bridge to get to that place. and we had the crew carrying light stands, and we had a skeleton crew up there. We didn't have any like super big equipment. We really had the bare minimum. And when you're shooting during a sunrise or sunset, the clock is ticking. You basically only have, half an hour, 40 minutes to get the scene. And it was such a pivotal, such an important scene in the film. And I think everybody was nervous, but everyone just brought their A game. Robbie and Andrea completely nailed that scene, just really dropped into those heavy emotions. And it was just so beautiful. And I'm so grateful to the whole team and to the producers for even saying yes to this. um, so yeah, that was really special.
I gotta say, Shereen, because you're mentioning that scene, and that's actually one of my favorite scenes from the film. I was actually
Cool.
thinking about it. I was like, I don't know if she's gonna mention this scene, but hey, this is the scene that I actually like fully because it's so beautiful. And being the fact that you mentioned uh later on that there's no like CG nor special effects, and knowing now that that was in a tight time frame, just to get that perfect shot, ecstatic. Now I'm mind blown 100%.
I
So,
love that.
so Shireen, I wanted to ask you because this is something that I have noticed a lot, and you did mention that this is a story that came from Wattpad. Do you
Mhm.
see, because um we have a lot of films series that come from already renamed books that have already been in shelves and everything, with big author names. Do you think that this trend of stories that are coming from this application, that basically we have millions and
Yeah.
thousands of different authors just trying to see if their story can get out there and get a fan base, somewhat like it, Wattpad is somewhat like SoundCloud. We can find the next Post Malone, but in this case we're talking about stories. Do you think that this trend will continue, that probably a producer like Robbie Amell turned up this story, he got to read it in Wattpad or any other producer? You think that this will continue happening? Stories coming from an application to the big screen?
Well, I hope so, I think the very exciting thing that's happening in our generation right now is that content is being connected to the audience without sort of a third party, without people judging it and curating it. A platform like Wattpad allows readers to pick what they want to read, and Float had a huge following, and that was just Kate, as a 15-year-old girl writing a story over 8 years, and she had so many people read her book. And that was just, based on her putting her work out there, and people found it and connected to it, and then found an audience. And I think the audience will tell us, what they want. And it's a very direct way of seeing what people want. So that's very exciting, and I hope it continues.
And wanted to ask Shireen, uh, I I did went ahead and checked your what you have worked on, and you worked on a lot in series and in short films. How does it
Yeah.
feel that this is like, I would say, uh your big film, a film that from making an episode of maybe an hour 45 minutes, or a short of 10 to 7 or 20 minutes, how does it feel that now you have worked on a full length film?
Yeah. It's amazing. I think a lot about, the difference between making a feature film versus, a TV show. And the difference for me is very emotional. So making a feature film really comes from my soul and my heart. And um, at the end of the day, it's my voice up there, it's my perspective. and I really get to explore something within myself and with these characters and sort of be at the helm of this story, which is very such an honor, that everybody would, be on board with me to make this film. Um, so yeah, that's the biggest difference, I guess, when it comes to making my own feature film versus other stuff. And of course, I'm so grateful to Lionsgate and Wattpad, to have trusted me with this story and allowed it to, now be in theaters and on demand and everything. So I hope the audience will also really enjoy it.
I wanted to ask Shireen, is there any how can I say this? Is there any project or any goal that you have as a director
You mean in
in,
general?
in general? Yeah, like something that you would
Yeah.
like to work on in the future, or probably that you
Hmm.
have like a script for yourself that you have written that you would like to one day bring it to the big screen or to streaming. So is there any goal that you have as a director or writer?
I mean, absolutely. I am always creating. I have, a few scripts on the go. I'm currently financing hopefully my next feature film. It's a drama. And ultimately, as a storyteller, my goal is to tell stories that, connect all of us in the world and tell stories of people that you don't normally see on screen or that you don't normally meet in real life and show people how alike we really all are. So I'm really glad that you felt connected to the story as well. And yeah, I just want to tell stories that make us all feel a little less alone and a little bit more seen.
The yeah, it's I think that films like these should be more available, or that people should give them a try, like that they can open up a little bit much more. Me being I have a background as a graphic designer, but this is what I do in the day-to-day basis, is what I love, right? So the
Oh,
film brings that to light, like, hey, yes, I am doing this, but I want to be seen in this other aspect because this is what I actually enjoy and I'm proud of. um, so Shireen, I have two more questions for you. One of them would
okay.
be, are we going to be seeing our beloved main characters from Float once again?
Well, we never know what the future holds, but I certainly hope that they all get to come together again. And who knows, maybe learn some new thing next summer.
And then my next question would be, if you could describe Float with one word, what that word would be.
It's funny because somebody asked me that the other day, and I said to be you, like, and it's two words, obviously. And then they said, isn't it just float? So I felt really silly.
Oh yeah, that's the great word. Yeah, I know it's two, but still, it's great. Be yourself. That's
Be
amazing,
yourself.
amazing word. So Shireen, I'm very thankful for giving us the time to talk about Float. I hope that when people sit down to watch it, wherever they're watching it, let it be in theaters, let it be in streaming or VOD. I hope that they enjoy it. Um, and I hope that they see the magic behind the story. So Shireen, thank you very much for giving us the
Thank
time to
you.
talk about the film.
Thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate your time.
No problem. Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Okay.